Hello friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the Milk Safety and Quality Survey. Let us first see what is the current affair. A Milk Safety and Quality Survey was conducted recently by a private independent agency. So this is a private agency, but this was done by the authority given by the FSSAI. So FSSAI is the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, and by the authority given by FSSAI, this private agency, this independent agency has conducted a milk safety and quality survey. So from the name itself, it is clear that this survey was conducted in order to detect two things. The first one, the milk safety. Second one, the quality of the milk. So in order to come at a conclusion regarding the safety of the milk that is available for consumption in the market, and second one, the quality of the milk that is available for consumption in the market. So these were the two objectives of this survey. Now, why this is a very important current affair and why this is significant, why the findings of the survey is significant. The one reason for which the survey's findings are important is because the survey has demolished the perception of large-scale milk adulteration in India. What does it mean? It means that there was a perception that there is a large-scale adulteration in the milk that is available in the market in India. So this perception has been demolished, or this perception has been removed by the findings of the survey. So it reveals that there is no large scale adulteration of milk that is available in the market for consumption. So that is why the finding of the survey is very important, and this topic is also very important from the examination point of view. So we will be discussing about the highlights of the survey. What does the survey findings tell us? What are the facts revealed by the survey? Now we will also discuss about the presence of aflatoxin and why it becomes a health concern. Now this question can be expected in various examination at the preliminary level regarding the chemical found out by the survey, and also regarding the analysis of the survey. The findings can be important for your mains examination, for any examination, especially UPSC examination. So from all these perspectives, we will try to analyze and cover this topic in detail today in this lecture. So let us come to the survey's findings. Let us see what are the findings of the survey. But before going on to the findings of the survey, we need to understand how was this survey conducted. So what were the parameters used, and what was the sample size of the survey. Everything is important, so we will first go to it. So this survey was undertaken on 6,432 samples. So almost 6,432 samples were collected between the months of May to October in the year 2018. Now, how many cities or towns were covered? Almost 1,100 towns and cities were covered. It means that even though 6,432 samples are only collected, it was collected from different places, from almost 1,100 cities and towns, indicating that from one place almost 6 samples were collected. Now, these samples collected from 1,100 cities and towns having a population of 50,000 or above, and these samples were tested for 13 common adulterants and contaminants. That means these samples were tested for almost 13 common adulterants found and 3 contaminants. Contaminants were first one for pesticides, second one for Aflatoxin M1, and third for antibiotics. So these were the 3 contaminants that were tested in the survey. And what was the finding of the survey? Let us now come to the findings of the survey. So the first finding of the survey was that about 93% of the samples collected from this 1,100 cities and towns, they are safe for consumption. So they are absolutely safe. 93% samples. So this is a vast majority. So this finding demolishes the fact that was believed in the market, that there is a large scale milk adulteration in the market. So 93% of the sample were found to be very safe, absolutely safe, without any adulterants and without any contaminants. Now, out of the 6,432 samples that were collected, only 12 samples were adulterated and found to be unsafe for consumption. So only 12 samples were found unsafe for human consumption. And the adulterated samples, they were also subjected to various confirmatory tests, like to reconfirm the same. So even after the confirmation test, the samples surveys findings, the analysis, the quantitative analysis of the adulterants showed that the amount of adulterants and the contaminations was not high. That means it does not pose harm or a serious threat to human life or human health. Now another finding was regarding Aflatoxin M1 residues. It found out that 368 samples, that is almost 5.7% of the samples, had aflatoxin M1 residues beyond the permissible limit. Now what is the permissible limit? Permissible limit is 0.5 microgram per kilogram. So this is the permissible limit, and it was found out that the aflatoxin M1 residues were found above the permissible limit in 5.7% of the samples taken. Now regarding the antibiotics, so the presence of antibiotics were also seen above the permissible level in 77 samples, and from states like Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. So in these states particularly, the presence of antibiotics were detected by the survey. Now let us come to the presence of aflatoxin M1. Let us see how aflatoxin M1 poses a health concern or a health challenge. So aflatoxin M1 is more widely found or spread in processed milk rather than raw milk. So it is more widely present in processed milk, that is after pasteurization. So in processed milk, in almost 227 samples it was found, and in raw milk it was found in around 141 samples. According to the FSSAI, the aflatoxin M1 in milk is from feed and fodder. So feed and fodder is the source of aflatoxin M1 in the milk. And the reason is that the feed and the fodder is not regulated. So under regulation or non-regulation of feed and fodder is the reason for the presence of aflatoxin M1 in the milk samples, and this is the finding of the FSSAI. And the highest residue levels of aflatoxin M1 in milk were seen in the samples from 3 states, one Tamil Nadu, second one is Delhi, and the third one is Kerala. So these are the 3 states where the highest residue levels of aflatoxin M1 was found in the milk samples. Now, according to the International Agency for Research on Cancer, so this agency has found out that aflatoxin M1 is classified as a possible carcinogenic to humans. Now what is meant by carcinogenic? Carcinogenic means that causing cancer. So this can be a cause for cancer. So this is according to the finding of the International Agency for Research on Cancer. So this is how it becomes a threat to the human health. So this can be a possible cause of cancer in human beings, and the carcinogenic potency is estimated to be about 1/10 of aflatoxin B1. So we are talking about aflatoxin M1, and when we compare aflatoxin M1 with B1, it is around 1/10, the potency or the potential of aflatoxin M1 to cause cancer in human beings. Now here what we need to know is that the current survey is limited only to the milk, that is only milk samples were taken. So the milk product samples are not taken, only the samples of milk was taken in this current survey. So there is a certain uncertainty, or it is unclear how widespread is aflatoxin M1 contamination in milk products, for example cheese, curd, paneer, etc. So these are certain milk products. So this sample survey takes into consideration only the milk samples. So it is not certain the presence of aflatoxin M1 in milk products. It is not at all certain. So definitely, according to the finding of International Agency for Research on Cancer, aflatoxin M1 in milk and also in milk products, it is a serious public health concern. Especially this is risky for young children. This is because one of the major nutrients or the source of nutrients for young children is milk. So infants and young children, they consume milk more than what the adults consume. So this is a serious health risk to the infants and young children. Now, according to the WHO, that is the World Health Organization, exposure to aflatoxin M1 in milk and in milk products is especially high in areas where the grain quality is poor. So the grain that is used as feeder for animals, when the quality of the grain that is used as a fodder for animals or feed for animals is poor, there is a serious chance of causing aflatoxin M1 contamination in the milk. So when the animals, that is the cattle, that consume the poor quality grain, then this cattle, the milk produced by the cattle, can have a content of aflatoxin M1, and this is the finding of WHO. Now, aflatoxin M1, this is a very important contaminant. Now, there can be questions regarding which contaminant was determined or found out by the recent survey on milk safety and quality. So this can be a possible question. So let us see what are the findings of WHO. First one, the quality of the feeder or the feed. So this can be one reason. Second one is improper storage. So improper storage of food harvest in warm and humid conditions leads to aflatoxin contamination. So improper storage can be another reason. And WHO also says that the improper storage in warm and humid conditions can be more risky, or the risk is much higher than what is seen in the field. That is the poor quality that is seen in the field, it is less riskier than the storage risk. Now these are the findings of the WHO or the World Health Organization. Now let us see what are the steps required. Now we have seen that aflatoxin M1 poses serious health challenge to the human beings. It can even cause cancer in human beings. So what is required? Attempts are required to reduce the toxin amount, and serious attempts are required even before and after the food crop harvest. That is, we have seen that if the quality of the grain is very poor, then this can cause aflatoxin contamination. So before the harvest, attempts needs to be made sure that there are less toxins or the toxin amount is minimum. Now after harvest, how it has to be ensured? It has to be ensured by providing proper storage facilities. So without proper storage, improper storage will lead to this contamination of the food grains. So this can be transferred to the cattle and thereby to the human beings by the consumption of the milk of these cattle. So storage has to be ensured and the quality of the feed or the fodder has to be ensured. Now it is also very important in having facilities to regularly test for aflatoxin M1. So regulatory tests are also very important. So these are the steps required to reduce the toxin contamination level in the milk. And apart from that, the survey finds that about 93% of the total milk samples collected were absolutely free of contamination and absolutely safe for human consumption. So these are the findings of the survey. And aflatoxin, the name is very important. It can be asked in your examination. You can find the PDF of this lecture on our website www.studyiq.com. You can also follow my Facebook page for more video updates. You can write to me at joyce.studyiq@gmail.com for any of your queries and clarification. Thank you.